Hello, everybody. This is Pastor Steve with your morning message of hope. And what's that we see over my shoulder? What is that? It's light. It's light. I'm here in my office and I have this light over my shoulder. And you know what that is? That's the light at the end of the tunnel that we can see. We're still in the midst of our shutdown, lockdown in society. There's still a lot of uncertainty and a lot of, as I talked about Sunday, traumatic thinking. But the good news is we see things are getting a little bit better. And we're going to make it through this. And so we see that light. And you know, that phrase, light at the end of the tunnel, it's like when I was a kid and we'd drive through a tunnel. I loved, we'd roll our windows down and I'd yell, yeah, and my voice would echo off the tunnel, going through the mountains, under the mountain in a tunnel. But you could see that light up ahead, know that you're about to come back out of the tunnel. Well, actually, one time, in our neighborhood, we used to, there was a culvert that ran under the road, and it actually ran and turned and went under the road, and a stream of water ran through it. And the kids, we used to climb through the culvert, and there was a part as you were walking deeper and deeper into the culvert where it was completely dark. You couldn't see anything. You had your hand on each side and your feet on each side, and you just feel your way along in the dark. And then you'd get to the bend and turn, and you could see the end of the culvert, the light at the end. And it was like the coolest thing. And you knew you could make it. And as you got closer and closer to the end, everything was lit up. You could see if there were spiders or if there was... Every once in a while there'd be a little snake in there that we would catch. But it was a fun thing. And for a while I was known as the youngest guy to make it all the way through. I was like a neighborhood hero until Amy went through, this girl, and then all of a sudden, a girl went through and everybody forgot about me. But anyway, it's always nice to see the light at the end of the tunnel. And that's the amazing thing for us as Christians. We are children of the light. We don't focus on the darkness. Now, the darkness may overwhelm us, but we never lose focus and look for the light. We always are searching. The scripture says in John 1 that Jesus is the light that gives life to every person. And the darkness can never, never overcome it. And so, even sometimes we feel like we're surrounded by darkness. I've told y'all this before, but if you didn't know this, when I was in college during the summers, I worked in the Lost Sea Caverns in Sweetwater, Tennessee. And part of the tour, I would take groups down and we would crawl through the tunnels and spend the night there in the caverns. We'd get way deep in there, and then everybody turn their lights out. It'd be pitch black. And I would help them to understand we were over a mile under the surface. So here we've crawled back under there, and we're in pitch black, a mile under the surface, in this labyrinth of little tunnels and caves. And yet one little flashlight can help them return and get back to safety. All that darkness, all that stone, all those little tunnels, one flashlight, and a good guide that knew where to go so you didn't go down the wrong tunnel. But anyway, I learned a lot from that. I learned that with a little light and a good guide, You could get out of the deepest, darkest, blackest cave in the world. And so that's kind of how the Lord is with us, that when things seem bleakest, when they seem the darkest, we look for the light. And we know that Jesus is the light that gives life to every person. He is our guide. And we know with that light and with Jesus as our guide, we can get through any circumstance. And that's the good news for today.